Water. In the days before electricity, a valuable power source to drive mills of all kinds. Of course, if you lived up in the hills in a village like Geiselbach, you'd have had to travel downstream a little way to find a mill. This is the Devil's Vale. It probably got its name during the witch hunts of the 17th century. One of the victims confessed under torture to having come here to meet with the devil. There are in Germany 2 dates when witches are abroad. All Hallows Eve on the 31st of October and exactly 6 months later Walpurgis Night, the 30th of April. There is, though, another far more interesting explanation, and it comes from about halfway down the valley, the Devil's Mill, or to be more precise, the Devil's Mills. There were 3, the Upper Devil's Mill, the Middle Devil's Mill, and the Lower Devil's Mill. Today you can still see a few tiny remains of the Middle Mill. Of the other 2 mills, nothing is left. All 3 mills were probably working by the 18th century. For the villagers of Ulmersbach and Geiselbach, it was a fair trek through the woods to get their wheat ground into flour, but even this far down the valley the streams were barely large enough to actually drive a mill. Perhaps for this reason the upper mill was closed in 1847 and then completely forgotten. This caused confusion for later historians because the middle mill was often mistakenly referred to as the upper mill. Not until 1985 could archaeologists finally determine the exact location. In 1909, near the site of the middle mill, a log cabin was built which served as a hunting lodge. In the 1950s, the owner started work on converting it into an inn, with modern central heating and running water in all rooms. Sadly, he was murdered by a psychologically disturbed local, and his dream was never realised. The Devil's Vale is full of real-life horror stories through the centuries. A woman who fell and drowned trying to cross a stream, a man who had a heart attack, a hunter who accidentally shot dead his own son. But the popular story of how the valley got its name, while not true, is definitely worth telling. One of the millers had become notorious for cheating the local farmers, who of course then started taking their grain to other mills. And so the miller became poor, and his mill fell into disrepair. A hole in the wall let in water, and in frustration the miller cried, "If only the devil would take away this hole!" At this, the devil appeared. He promised to repair the wall overnight. If he succeeded in doing so by the sound of the first cock's crow, he would take the miller's soul in payment. The desperate miller agreed, but later regretted his decision. His wife, though, told him not to worry. She had it all worked out. That evening, when the devil came, the miller's wife hid in the chicken coop and watched. Just before the devil completed his work, she crowed. At this, the devil shrieked, dropped his tools, and vanished. The log cabin is still here, and if you know the right people, you can, on certain days of the year, get a drink there, but you'll have to walk. Don't do what one family did earlier this year. Intrigued by the creepy stories, they decided to drive there in the middle of the night and got stuck in the mud. They had to be rescued by police, and it took a tractor to drag their car back out. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to send me a postcard, here's the address. And don't forget to visit my website and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Also, if you'd like access to special bonus content and help with the costs of running this channel, please consider making a small monthly donation on Patreon.